The Cannabis Show is for information only. You should always consult with a qualified and licensed physician or other medical care provider.
Welcome to the Cannabis Show. Today, Basil talks about his bud, Tommy Chong. Evan teaches us about the life cycle and light cycles on growing tips, and we answer your questions in You Can Ask Us Anything.
This is Basil's Buds, where I talk about someone awesome who I wish was my bud. A year ago, my fellow cast members all had the opportunity to meet and greet the great Tommy Chong. A native Albertan, Tommy Chong has built himself up to be one of the most recognizable figures of the counterculture world. He has been all over film and TV portraying the quintessential cannabis consumer. Chong even has his own line of cannabis strains as well as a beautiful line of glass products. During the filming of Tommy's Cannabis Show interview, which was aired on episodes 9 and 10, I was at home with my then 5-day-old infant Otis, which, in my opinion, was a pretty good reason to miss meeting one of my favorite personalities. Oh, by the way, happy first birthday, Tiz.
Hello and welcome to Growing Tips. My name's Evan, and today we're going to talk about the cannabis life cycle and the light cycles it requires. The plant begins its life under 18 hours of light, mimicking the long days of spring and summer. This is called the vegetative state, and the plant will continue to grow, increase in size, and get more leaves in its shoots as long as it gets those 18 hours of light per day. As fall approaches and the days shorten, this is a signal for the plant to start producing its flowers or its buds, the part of the plant that we vaporize or smoke. We emulate this in the grow room by shortening our light cycles to 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. There are another group of plants that are a little bit more rare that don't require this light cycle change to stimulate the flowering cycle. This is called a ruderalis or auto-flowering plant, but they're a lot more uncommon. If you have any other questions, make sure to leave them in the comments below. Thanks for listening and keep growing.
A couple of weeks ago, we spoke a little bit about Lift.co, a really informative website for getting consumer reports on various strains for various conditions. It's a Canadian company. There's a similar company in the States called Leafly.com. It's based there, but it does have a tab on their site devoted to Canada with news on our very own Canadian doctors and patients and advocates. They also have a Strain Explorer type area. Although many of their strains are from the States, you can always do a little cross comparison with terpene profiles and what works for specific conditions. They've got an app, so those bank lines and waiting rooms become far more interesting. That's Leafly.com.
You can ask us anything on the Cannabis Show. Hello, I'm Chris. We have Kate and Basil. And today's question comes from Steph. And she says, why do some CBD strains with low THC still give me a glow after I vape the product?
Oh, that's, CBD, it's that cannabinoid that kind of gets the wheels going a little bit. It primes your receptors. It allows, the little bits of THC that are in there to work a little bit. And it also makes it more efficient for your natural endocannabinoids. So like that anandamide that's already in your body, it's gonna let that come through a little bit. There's a reason it's called the bliss molecule, right? It's gonna feel good.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing is what is high, and high is a little bit different for everybody. Maybe it's just the fact that you've been in pain for a long time, and when that pain disappears, different things are gonna flood your system, neurotransmittically speaking. That's a weird word, but so maybe it's just the reduction in pain that's causing her a bit more of a high feeling, but it's not an actual impairing high feeling. So it might be more uplifting, she might be happier. I find that when I do CBD as well, I'm like, the first time I did it, I'm like, well, actually I do feel a little bit of something, but it wasn't an impairing feling, it was just a tilt on the endocannabinoid just axis kind of thing. Yeah.
Being euphoric because you're not in pain anymore.
Absolutely.
Kind of yeah. Hopefully that answers your question, Steph. If you have a question you'd like to ask us here at The Cannabis Show, just email us, thecannabisshow@naturalhealthservices.ca.